Arsenal are on a mission. Mikel Arteta needs new forwards and it's over to Edu Gaspar to deliver. So today we'll find out which super agent is he negotiating with. We'll also break down all of the havoc around Mykhaylo Mudryk, find out why the FA have charged Arsenal, and discuss potential signings in the field. Yo, what is going on guys? My name is Babs14 and welcome back to your boys channel. I hope you guys are doing sensational as always, but all eyes are on the transfer. So as per, if you enjoy the content, smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new, and help your boy on his road to 150,000 subscribers. Now starting off by discussing potential midfield signings. Youri Tielemans is a player that Arsenal tried to sign in the summer of 2022. Constant negotiations with Leicester, and reports even claim that we agreed personal terms, but it wasn't quite meant to be. Fast forward to 2023 and Tielemans is out of contract in 6 months. Leicester manager Brendan Rodgers has now spoken, and he has called for the Leicester board to sell anyone who doesn't want to be at the club during the January transfer window, including the 7 players who are out of contract in the summer. Rodgers has confirmed that Tielemans is going to be on the market, and many reports have confirmed that Arsenal remain interested, and it makes a lot of sense why. In terms of number 8 profiles, especially on the left hand side, we only have Granit Xhaka, so when a player of Tielemans' quality is available, who's got a vast amount of Premier League experience and is a demon in the half spaces. And in terms of half space crosses, Man City have Kevin De Bruyne and he's so successful. Mikel Arteta is looking to replicate that. It's perfect for how Mikel Arteta wants to play, and that's why Arsenal have always had their interest. His Premier League experience means he can adapt straight away, and now that Leicester have confirmed his availability, let's see if Arsenal make an offer. Moving on to our number 6, Declan Rice is available in the summer for £80 million, and according to reports, the Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has given the club the green light to make a bid for Declan Rice in the summer. We've spoken about this so many times because it just makes so much sense. But in terms of teams that can afford him and attract him, Arsenal are one of the very few, but Arsenal will have to go head to head with Todd Bowley's Chelsea. As Ben Jacobs confirms, sources have said on multiple occasions that Declan Rice would like to stay in London, and Arsenal and Chelsea would definitely be in the race. He's a priority for Chelsea, but I think Arsenal could assess that area and weigh it up against other targets. Rice is a massive name and so many fans would be so excited. He would future-proof our midfield. And Chelsea are a team that have the finances, but will they have Champions League football? Currently 10th in the Premier League, 19 points behind leaders Arsenal, and 10 points of the Champions League places. As Ben Jacobs says, Rice is looking for a competitive team in London, and likely some form of European football. And Arsenal are near guaranteed Champions League football, and Chelsea aren't. On one side you have Todd Bowley's Chelsea that are struggling to make it into the top half, and then you have Mikel Arteta's Arsenal fighting for the Premier League title, set to make the return to the Champions League. The Emirates is bouncing more than ever, and the prospect of being coached by Mikel Arteta, whose work with Saka, Martinelli and Odegaard has been sensational. It's definitely a very enticing prospect. Chelsea also have other targets. They are currently trying to sign Enzo Fernandez for €127 million, and if they were to sign him, it's highly unlikely they sign Declan Rice. But Arsenal are also looking to sign a left-sided centre-back, someone to back up Gabriel Magalhaes, and they have looked at Eintracht Frankfurt's Evan Ndika, who's out of contract at the end of the season. But according to Christian Folk, Ndika has been offered a 3-year contract extension by Frankfurt, and there's a good chance that he could sign it, but there are many clubs interested at the moment, and one of them is Arsenal. A powerhouse of a centre-back at 23 years of age, experience in the Champions League, great at reading the game and fantastic recovery pace. In many ways it is the perfect profile for what Arsenal are looking for, but Frankfurt are trying their best to keep him, giving him a massive new contract. But if Arsenal were to make a serious offer to the player, with the prospect of competing in the Premier League and potentially even the Champions League, Arsenal could definitely attract him. But Arsenal also have competition up against their North London rival Spurs. But if he were to sign a new contract, Arsenal will still be in the market for a left-sided centre-back. So I want you guys to comment down below, if it isn't to be Ndika, what left-footed centre-back should Arsenal be signing? Moving on to the race for the forwards. Without Gabriel Jesus, Mikel Arteta is looking for firepower, especially to compete with Man City, who have Haaland, De Bruyne, Mahrez, Foden and so many more. Arsenal are active, they're in the market and they are negotiating to sign 2 forwards. And the main target of course is Mykhaylo Mudryk, who has just turned 22 years of age. A happy belated birthday, and on social media, Mykhaylo Mudryk is causing havoc. It all starts off when he likes a photo from an Arsenal account, a photo of him behind bars, and a caption of Free Mudryk. Him liking that photo is him basically saying Shakhtar are holding him hostage. He wants to leave as soon as possible, and he's at it once again, this time a photo of him in a prison bed, and the same caption of Free Mudryk. Mudryk is being very clever because he understands the Arsenal detectives are out and they are tracking every single one of his moves. So here he goes once again, this time liking a photo of him in an Arsenal jacket, wishing him happy birthday. He wants to be freed from the Shakhtar prison and he wants to move to the carpet. He wants to move to the Emirates Stadium. And in terms of our rivals Chelsea, Mudryk has dropped another hint, this time liking a post from an Arsenal account, reporting that he doesn't want to sign for Chelsea. Now here is that like confirmed by another screenshot, and since then he has unliked the photo, but Arsenal fans are FBI agents and they are out in force, and they are examining every single thing Mykhaylo Mudryk does. But in terms of negotiations, here is the Shakhtar director Dario Serna seen at Stamford Bridge as Chelsea played Man City. As Fabrizio Romano confirms, Arsenal will keep pushing for Mykhaylo Mudryk and they are the player's preference and total priority. But Shakhtar have also met with Chelsea in the last hours. Todd Boehly is trying as hard as he can to convince the people of Mudryk and Shakhtar, but it's worth pointing out the only team to actually make an offer is Arsenal Football Club. 2 to be exact, and the last one being upwards of £62 million. But in terms of the Shakhtar director, he says that we are not in a hurry to sell Mudryk and we don't need money. We consider Mykhaylo stronger than Antony, so now you understand the value. The price tag is clear. Shakhtar may not be in a hurry, but Mudryk certainly is. Liking photos with free Mudryk, he wants to leave as soon as possible, making all the noises to force a transfer, but Shakhtar wants as much money as possible. And with Arsenal and Chelsea both interested, this could spark a bidding war. But as Matt Law and Sam Dean confirm, Arsenal will not be drawn into any bidding war with Chelsea in a battle for Mykhaylo Mudryk, and will refuse to pay over the odds for the Shakhtar winger. Todd Boehly has his money, he can spend that money, but Arsenal are a club that have a strategy. Shakhtar can keep saying Antony and €95 million. Only because other teams overpay doesn't mean Arsenal also will. But in terms of the £88 million price tag, according to Nazar Kansela, it's understood Shakhtar are likely to accept less than £88 million for Mudryk and allow clubs to spread the cost over performance-related add-ons. The price tag that's being thrown about of £88 million is nowhere near the base fee, which is actually a lot closer to £40 to £45 million. And as David Ornstein says, I do think Arsenal remain in the superior position, and I don't think they'll be too concerned at this point about the potential hijack from Chelsea. Chelsea will not want to spend upwards of potentially £88 million for a player that wants a different club. And with all the noises that Mykhaylo Mudryk is making, his heart is set on a move to the Emirates Stadium. Now let's talk about Joao Felix. He wants to leave Atletico, available on a loan transfer, and things are getting interesting. As Fabrizio Romano confirms that Jorge Mendes was in Madrid in the last 24 hours to speak to Atletico about the situation of Joao Felix. Arsenal have also told Mendes that Felix could be a concrete option for them. Both Arsenal and Man United have confirmed again the interest in the last hours. I've always said that Jorge Mendes has all the power in this transfer. He is the guy that can lower the loan fee. But also in terms of Man United, they don't have the best of history with Jorge Mendes, and they were recently involved in a bit of a saga involving Cristiano Ronaldo, the biggest client of Jorge Mendes. And then you have Arsenal and Edu Gaspar, whose relationship is very good, and it looks like Arsenal are starting to make some moves, as Darman Chef confirms that positive talks are continuing between Arsenal and Atletico Madrid over a loan signing of Joao Felix. So Arsenal are starting to talk, and the talks are positive, which means Arsenal are getting indications the loan fee can be lowered, and once that happens, a loan offer definitely seems imminent. Well, as Sam Dean says, Arsenal are looking to add both Joao Felix and Mudryk to Mikel Arteta's attacking options. There are a few fans that don't quite understand why Arsenal want Joao Felix if they also want Mykhaylo Mudryk, but for me it makes a lot of sense. Mikel Arteta's attack has been on fire this season, and a key reason behind that is the fluidity of our front three. Gabriel Jesus and Gabriel Martinelli specifically, constantly swapping positions. It's caused mayhem in the final third because the opposition don't know who to mark. Arsenal don't need an out-and-out goal scorer. They are looking to share the goals. And that's why Joao Felix is so perfect. A player that is just as comfortable out wide as he is playing down the middle. And when he's available on a loan transfer until the end of the season, where Arsenal have no financial obligation to buy him at the end of it, as long as Arsenal are able to lower the overall loan fee, it's a low-risk transfer that makes so much sense. Moving on to the other Arsenal news today, and starting off with the future of Charlie Patino, currently on loan to Blackpool in the Championship, recently picking up very decent form, and according to reports, Real Madrid have interest in signing Charlie Patino. Now Arsenal have recently activated a 2-year contract extension, and they are trying to negotiate a longer term contract. But when you're wanted by Real Madrid, it's a true indication of how special a player Patino actually is. And in a Mykhaylo Arteta 4-3-3, as a number 8, who is a fantastic ball carrier, has a range of passes in his locker, and playing in a physical league like the Championship, he's developing his ability to win duels. The potential is definitely crazy. A shout out to the Arsenal boss Mykhaylo Arteta, who has been nominated for the Premier League Manager of the Month for November and December. The third time Mykhaylo Arteta has been nominated for this award this season, having won 4 games out of 4. There's a very good chance that Mykhaylo Arteta could bag his second Manager of the Month award. And talking about awards, you also have Martin Odegaard and Bukayo Saka, who have been nominated for the Premier League Player of the Month award. But in terms of the standout player over that period of time, for me it has to be Martin Odegaard. 4 games, 4 wins, 3 goals and 3 assists. And some of the performances have been outrageous. Not only has Odegaard been effective, but he's also been entertaining. And Haaland can score his goals and Casemiro can win his slide tackles. But there's very few players as effective as Martin Odegaard at this stage of the season. Now let's talk about the FA, as they have charged Arsenal with a breach of FA Rule E21 following its Premier League match against Newcastle. It's alleged that Arsenal failed to ensure its players conducted themselves in orderly fashion during the 95th minute, and the club has until Tuesday the 10th of January to respond. The 95th minute had drama. Jacob Murphy potential handball, the Arsenal players go berserk, surround the referee straight away, calling for a penalty, demanding a penalty, and then you have Mykhaylo Arteta running into the 4th official and going head to head with Eddie Howe. A lot of people in the media are not a fan right now of Mykhaylo Arteta and his touchline antics, and they are calling him out as inexperienced. But let me just get one thing straight. When Conte and Tuchel go head to head, it's passion. When Pep Guardiola kicks the ball into the opposition, it's an accident. But when Mykhaylo Arteta calls for a penalty, it's inexperience. People are being hypocrites. And as Troy Deeney says, I love Arteta's touchline antics, and the Arsenal stars will want to know their manager is in the trenches with them. As an Arsenal fan, I love Mykhaylo Arteta's passion. Every Arsenal fan wants to see their manager on the pitch fighting for the team. I love how active Mykhaylo Arteta is during the games, and he is simply trying to gain any single advantage he can, and it's the level of passion that we see from so many other top managers. Now let's talk about the title race, because Man City have closed the gap, beating Chelsea 1-0 at Stamford Bridge, and they have now closed the gap to 5 points. That being said, the performance itself wasn't as convincing. In the first half, Chelsea were the better team, but in the second half, Man City showed exactly what they have that Arsenal don't. In the Newcastle game, Arsenal lacked options off the bench. They couldn't change it. Whereas for Pep Guardiola, things aren't working at half-time. He throws on Jack Grealish and Riyad Mahrez, a combined £160 million, and both go on to be involved in the winning goal. This is exactly why Arsenal are trying to sign Joao Felix and Mykhaylo Mudryk, because look at what we're competing with. So when you have the returning Gabriel Jesus, and then Emil Smith-Rowe, things don't work out in certain games, it will give Mykhaylo Arteta options to change the games, which is exactly what you need if you want to compete for the Premier League title. But that is the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all of his social medias, then the links are down below in the description. But that was today's episode of the Transfers FC. Premier League on pause, the FA Cup is back, but all eyes on Mykhaylo Mudryk and Joao Felix. Can Arsenal sign both? Let's find out in the upcoming days. I will see you next time. Stay tuned and in a bit.